Welcome everybody to the first episode of the Rollerblading is Still Fun podcast. My name is Josh Navarfar. I'm the creator of the Rollerblading is Still Fun YouTube channel featuring Dallas rollerblading, street skating, all that good stuff. I'm here with my co-host, brother from another mother, Jose Arce, straight out of LA. LA?
LA Dallas, baby.
LA Dallas. How long have you been in Dallas for?
For about 3 years now.
3 years, awesome. Yeah, Jose moved here not too long ago. Quickly became a really good friend of ours. We love skating with him. He's an awesome dude. We also have with us Fritz Peitzner and Jordan Glowicki, co-founders, along with Josh Glowicki of Cymatics Urethane. That's a wheel company out of Dallas, Texas. They've been making big waves recently. I'm so happy to have them on board with us to talk about their company, what they have coming out, how it all started, and all that great stuff. So with that being said, we'll just jump right into it. I just wanted to go over some of the history of the project so people can kind of see its origins, you know, how y'all came up with the idea, you know, anything like that y'all want to start with.
Yeah, well, I'd say like you probably go back a few years. We've, Fritz and I have worked together for the last 7 or 8 years outside of blading. And we just sort of seem to find ourselves sort of helping each other out on different projects. And for the last several years, we just have been talking about different products, things that are missing maybe from the industry. Oh, it'd be cool to make this or that or whatever. My day job is messing with epoxies, and that chemically is similar to urethane wheels, and it felt like a good place to start with wheels. You know,
I got some too. Like when I first decided to start carriers, I was telling Jordan about it, and of course, you know, I had like this huge idea, and then Jordan put it all into perspective, which was cool because that's what got carriers started. And then I wanted to make shop wheels, and you know, we made a collab with Red Eye, and then the idea of wheels just kind of went away. And yeah, I think it all kind of fell into place. Ricardo Lino came in town, and Jordan always kind of had it also in his head to do something cool like that, like a wheel company, also completely separated from the shop. And then one day the opportunity came, and
yeah, I'll say we had targeted who we wanted to use as our manufacturer.
Which is who?
It's And Industries down in Hutto in Texas. At this point, they were still in California.
What made y'all want to go with them?
For me, when I was a kid, rollerblading, like the Hyper Fat Boy wheel changed my life. Right, that was the wheel where like it felt different, right? And the lead chemist, the chemist who was behind the success of Hyper wheels, is the main chemist. He is the chemist at And Industries. Okay. So we wanted that tech.
Also just knowing that And makes some of the best wheels in rollerblading. Some of the best companies get their wheels poured there. So yeah, that was like Jordan said, the universe, because they moved here. I mean, for us, you know, it's
they're
right
manufactured in America?
In Texas.
Oh, in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Texas.
What is Josh's role in all this?
So Josh and Fritz have similar roles, and then vastly different roles. But all three of us, well, I can't think of it on the spot now, but I had given us 3 titles, you know, yeah. And Fritz was like the hopeless visionary.
Yeah.
Josh was like,
we'll just say universe.
Yeah, Yogi Josh is what we always said, you know. And I was the unsolicited mentor, right? Yeah, I'm constantly talking. I'm constantly giving advice that people didn't ask for, sort of stuff. But the dynamic's cool because where this guy has never had a thought come through his head that he doesn't think he could do, I am kind of the wet blanket a lot of times. And my first reaction is, you know, like that's not going to work. But he pushes me, and then maybe I pull on him. And then with Josh, technology is what's made all this possible, right? Because Josh is, what, 5,000 miles away in Spain the majority of the time. Josh knows everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I say they have similar roles, because Fritz knows everybody, it feels like, as well. Josh, certainly in the Euro side now, being over there for so long, has a lot of contacts over there as well. And, you know, his big thing is for our company is the focus on the future, right? This is already what he's doing with the blading camps. One of our pillars as a company is we need to be feeding this sport with the you know, have the young ones coming in so we can pass the torch off. And yeah, his role is definitely focused on the future of the farm league, growing those kids, getting them into skating, keeping them pumped up, but as well as really being our voice, our whatever you say, our hand over there in the greater EU.
Yeah, he also, like, well, Josh came up with the name Cymatics too.
That was going to be one of my questions also.
Yeah.
Where the name came from, how y'all got that?
He came up with the name, and you know, Josh has a lot of ideas too. And when he's pumped up, like, you know, he'll give me a call and we'll just talk forever about, like, you know, what the industry's looking like, what the industry could use. Josh is another one that, you know, he would call me and be like, yo, we should do some other products, right? We won't talk about those yet.
Sure, right, yeah. Got to keep them
I got
secret.
some stuff down the pipeline coming.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, we were just looking at some cool ideas, and as Jordan was saying, like, yeah, Josh is dealing with the future. Josh is also dealing with a bunch of amazing people from Europe, pros. When me and Josh went on tour, Josh was the guy that was talking to everybody. Josh has that personality where he can engage with people really well. And yeah, like Jordan said, it's a good dynamic between the three of us, because where one of us is slacking, you know, the other one will pick up, and it works really well together. It's like we all have visions, we all have these dreams, and somehow we're able to bounce these ideas back and forth and say what is realistic for us now, what is not, and then at the same time, like, see what we're doing wrong, like
So y'all,
at carriers.
Y'all have like a bunch of different products. I don't know if all wheel companies do like all the different types of profiles that y'all do, like the bullet wheels, the flat wheels, the round wheels. Like, luckily, us being such close friends with you, Fritz, like, you had the prototypes made. You're not going to sell prototypes, so you hooked me up. You hooked Jose up. We got to skate the different ones. Last time you gave me some wheels, Jose was like, oh, you should have gotten the round profile ones. Like, yeah. I guess, do you prefer the round profile ones? What is it about the round profile you like?
I just think you have better control on turns. And every time I like landing a trick, sometimes when you do runs, as soon as you get off one obstacle, you're ready to switch, you know, to go to the next one. And maybe a little with flat, you have to kind of, you know, groove it out to the way you kind of want to form it. So kind of round profile is a little better for me. But
that's what I tell people in a nutshell. I
don't think I've tried them yet. Will go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, I say you've got consistent performance. You know what you're going to get out of that wheel from edge to edge, because that round profile, it's a full radius. It's even exactly the same the whole way across, where like our flat tops, that's like a great street wheel. The wider path on that is great for stability.
That's what
landing.
I like about it.
Yeah,
you can
but
real stable.
Yeah, Jose's point though, it's kind of when you're switching, you know, edges essentially, you go up to flat and over to your other edge, you know. So with everything, there's a trade-off, and the round profile it's like well, we would call it the Goldilocks wheel. You know, it's not too flat, it's not too round. It's just right, you know, because, you know, if you go bullet, you get fast. and you get maneuverability.
That was going to be my next question about the bullet profile, because Fritz gave me some of those wheels.
Yeah.
I think some of y'all's first ones were bullet.
Yeah, yeah.
And I looked at him and I was like, this doesn't look good for me.
It doesn't look like an aggressive wheel.
Yeah.
You know,
it was like a wreck wheel.
And we loved that about the V1 wheel, because again, with part of the thinking here, so it's a balancing act, because we want to look at other companies that are successful and take inspiration from them, but we're not trying to be a company that's already existing, right? We have our own vision for how we can contribute. Bottom line, with everything we make, we're asking, are we adding depth to what's currently available, or are we diluting, right? So when we purchase our own tooling for this newest run, so we are making a proprietary wheel shape for the 60 and for the 58 that we're making now. And
like y'all will own the shape.
We own the mold, yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody else is making that wheel shape in a USA urethane. Wow. There may be some other wheel shapes that are close, that are poured overseas or whatever, but this is our mold. We drew it. Mm-hmm. It was, you know.
Is that what Danny does all day at the register?
Yeah.
Wheels for y'all?
He did it. Yeah, Danny spent days and hours on it.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
But we you know, our thought with this was to say, okay, you know, are we happy with what's available in 58? We know 58's got the most options. You know, yeah.
I got something to add to that. It just like popped in my head. You know, like everybody has this, right? But we have these rules in skating, right? Like, oh, I put my hand down, you know, and like sometimes the trick might look perfect, and someone's like, I'm not happy with it, you know.
And we get a lot of that in Dallas. That's where the term Dalitude comes from.
Dalitude.
We're never satisfied with
Yeah,
tricks.
I learned that when I got here too. As well.
we had to train him.
Yeah.
No, but
No. We understood the assignment.
No, because you told me
when we were in California,
Jeremy,
we knew. Yeah, we knew.
Jeremy would always be like, "You need to do that again."
Yeah. Jeremy used to be like, "Yeah,
and Jeremy
that
would
does
say,
not count. Do it again."
Jeremy would say, "Oh yeah, you got to skate, you know, like the Dallas guys, you know, Dalitude, you know."
I think it's because we grew up talking so much shit to each other all the time. Like, we never let anybody live anything down. If somebody landed weird, we would call them out. Yeah. Like, we were so hard on each other as young kids.
I got it pretty bad because I didn't know any better, right? So, like, if I came off far side or anything, like, I skated really slow, too, growing up. Like, I had nicknames that I thought were cool, and then later I figured out that they were talking shit. So,
I remember at Eisenberg, the shotgun box, you would roll to it neutral, right in the middle, and be like, true fish. I'm like, nah, that's far side alley mafia. You gotta start on this side.
Dude. I also didn't know the difference between true topsoil and alley-oop topsoil for a long time, but, you know, got schooled and
I think
learned.
we were harder on you because you were better than us, and you had just such good style. We felt like we had to knock you down a peg and bring you back to our level.
Nah, yeah, well, thank you. But I actually, luckily, I saw y'all skating and felt the same way about y'all. Like, it was crazy because that Dalitude, or, you know, whatever it's called in every other state too, because everybody has it, those rules eventually applied to everything else I do. And luckily a lot of my friends have these standards too with everything, right? Like Jordan and his business, when I started working for him, it was efficiency but proper work. Like there was no
cutting corners.
There was no cutting corners. No half-assing. I mean, we were literally cutting corners sometimes with the paintbrush, but it was like that. Like, and it was a cool experience because it was one of the first jobs where I worked, and I didn't feel any pressure. I was actually being taught, right? Well, all that being put back together to the wheel company. That's how we treat the wheel company, right? So, like, are we copying someone else?
Right.
Or even if we're not purposely copying anybody else, we're making sure we're not going to get put in that category of this wheel company that's just creating something that's already been done. That's why we do the marble colors. That's why the quality of the wheel is perfect. Like Jordan takes care of all that. Like it's pretty cool because me and Josh, even if we were super juiced on doing this, we wouldn't be able to do it by ourselves, because Jordan brings this aspect that we learned from him, and it's still hard to keep that. So he'll like, when he says he's the wet blanket, it's not true. He just brings reality, you know, like, okay, so how can we do this? And if we were to do this, should we do it now or should we do it later on? You know, like build it up. So we're bringing that dalitude in the products that we're producing, and we are getting better. But there's a lot of stuff that all three of us combined didn't know that we needed to do.
No, yeah, I just like if I could sum it all up, when people ask like, how's Cymatics going, and I'll say like, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. No, but I mean literally, I tell people it's the highest highs and the lowest lows, and sometimes those are within 5 minutes of each other.
Oh, wow,
I mean, it's crazy, because again, this is a totally different world, even from Fritz with the skate shop side of things. You know, like, we are making a product and we're putting it out there and hoping that the math was right, you know, in whatever regard, right?
Yeah.
And you know,
but it's not just the product too. Like, I want to like even name some names too that have helped along the way. Like our friends that will give us their feedback. Some of the pros that gave us,
these guys right here.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they'll you guys point things out, or we'll say something that like we're just not visualizing. We're let's say more focused on the product, the design of this product, but we're missing a proper Instagram page, right?
Right.
Medina's one of them. Medina's like a
Daddy Dina.
Daddy Dina. That's what we nicknamed him. Like, hey, if we have any questions,
Yeah,
let's ask Daddy Dina, because
Sure.
Daddy Dina, he is straight up.
If I make an edit, it can't go online until Fritz sends it to Daddy Dina.
Yeah.
for approval.
Exactly. No,
And that's
it's
the
great.
level of respect for you know, his eye.
Yeah.
You know, his level of criticalness, where you know, it's important to see it through that lens.
It's really important, like, for not just our company, but like anybody, like even within skating, to understand this whole thing isn't done all by itself. You know, like we're all working at it together. And like Jordan said, that the highest highs and the lowest lows. Like at this point, you know, this company, and I feel pretty sure saying this, like, we're doing this because it's a cool challenge, right? There's like, you know, not to bring up the other part, but like,
well, we know this. We know. You and Josh know what it's like to try to make a living. Yeah, I mean, Jose, you know the money that's there or not there in the industry.
Oh, of course.
We're not doing this thinking we're gonna put our feet up and retire off of it. You know, the goal is, especially obviously in the early years, we have no illusions. The goal is not to lose money, and we take any profits that we gain and they immediately go back in. They go back in for the tooling. They're going in to you know, pay royalties for the pros things, travel. If we can get some of our fam team into events, things like this, like they're all that money, you know, we would be the last people to need it, but that's almost the place you have to be in the industry to really do it proper, right? Because if we got something and it wasn't good, I mean, we would just eat it and lose money instead of putting it out there, selling it to recoup. It's been like a year, and you know, we were like the 500th wheel company to come out. It felt like, you know, and that was
segue me into my next point. So that
was a little bit of the sentiment, and so I think, right, we're aware that it's a crowded market, but our pros deserve just as much as the other pros of having an opportunity to have royalties, you know, and you know,
do y'all give royalties to y'all skaters?
Sure, yeah, we do, and a nice thing that we're able to do, I think it's unique, is that we pay our royalties to our pros up front. So we consider that a cost of production with the wheel. So
how does that work? Like you don't wait for sales and then base it off that. You base it on the amount of wheels y'all produce.
Exactly.
Anticipating to sell them.
Exactly. The burden is on us to sell the wheels, and the burden on our pros is to skate.
Mm-hmm.
They worry about their stuff.
Yeah.
You know, obviously their motivation is to help sell because then we'll be able to do more, right? But they're not having to try to sell these wheels to get a little bit of royalty. Their royalties are paid to them.
Where did that idea come from? Or is that common practice? I've never.
It's not common. It's not majority. I don't know if other people do it or not. But it just, for me, it's just a lot cleaner that way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they love it too.
Because it really is a cost of that wheel. Mm-hmm. It's a cost of us to produce that wheel. And when we produce a house wheel, well, that money that would go to a pro still gets used for competition entries, for products to give to the pro, to our other team, like our fam team or our amateur team. So that money is still being invested and still being used. And it's cool.
So let's use that as a segue to talk about your comp, Fritz, the Carriers skate comp. So you had the first one back in 2002, is that correct?
Yeah. At
Allen Skate Park here in the DFW area in Texas. That seemed like it was a big success.
Yeah.
How did all that come together?
Shoot, I always wanted to throw a comp, right? Like I did something like a little trial. I called it the session because, when I was in Europe, I noticed that every country had their own style of competition, right? Like Denmark was really street style. And then France was definitely park style. And I appreciated all of it. And, we used to have the hoedown here, right? I wanted to say like Winter Clash gives me a hoedown feeling because it has its own style, right? Like magic just happens. Like you see someone like, get gutted on the rail, but then lands it or walks away, or wins best trick, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how hoedown was. So, I like the idea of throwing a comp. I can't tell you exactly what motivated it. Partially, I also wanted to give back for the head injury because Josh created a GoFundMe that raised money to help me out. So I wanted to give something back. And the more I played with the idea, I started reaching out. I reached out to Arlo. I reached out to Julian. That's actually how the talks with Julian about Cymatics came about.
Was Julian at the first one?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't really know who he was back then. Did he skate in it?
Yeah.
Did
he did that 540 Soyo on the square rail?
On the square rail.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Nils came out.
Nils won.
Yeah.
Nils won.
Nils won. And then it was him and then Waikiki.
Yeah.
Third.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was real drunk. To be honest with you.
Well, my memory of that one was it was cold AF.
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
And Frankie, I remember seeing Frankie Morales there, but I don't think he skated. But I remember seeing him. He was in like a trench coat or something. But
it don't get that cold in Florida.
Yeah.
No, he was not. I think honestly he came out here, and it's crazy how it happened because we had like perfect weather. We had the windows open, chilling, and then I think it was like the day before the comp. It just got freezing cold, so everybody had to bundle up, and it wasn't necessarily thrown together. It wasn't disorganized, but there was a lot of things that I didn't foresee that we fixed in the most recent one, and hopefully this year's is going to be better. But yeah, there was a vision behind it, and like I did understand that we needed a good prize pool. That's really important.
What was first place prize?
I can't remember. I think it was a $2,500 or 26. I think I was able to, and this was all out of pocket, by the way. I don't even want to like think about it too much, but I think I spent about 10 grand on that comp. I did sell products during the comp, and it was great for the store too because it's carriers, right? But yeah, I reached out to all the right people, and we all came together real well, and I think built a couple obstacles for. Yeah, we built a couple obstacles for it. But yeah, with the money being one thing, and then getting the proper pros out here being the next thing, like it's motivating. It's motivating to have Nils Janssens here in Texas, in Dallas at our competition. Julian Kudo, Corey Wakiki, Frankie Morales, Arlo, Jaron Grove. I mean, we had some legends here. That's what we need, and what I want to hopefully keep on providing as I raise more money, keep upping the ante.
Well, I mean, let's get into the second comp, because like you talked about this comp, you did it all on your own, but your second comp, you actually partnered with the city that the skate park was being thrown in, which was Frisco, Texas. And, it seemed a lot more organized, a lot more official. I mean, there were even bigger names out this time. How did you get in contact with the city? Why would they want to help you with something like this?
That was also really random. I moved from the old skate shop right across the street to the new skate shop, much bigger shop. I converted the old shop into an art gallery, and I had a little party, and Jen Russell comes in, and I didn't know who she was at the time. She was looking at the t-shirts, and she asked me about skating. There was one of the artists, he's a biker, has some art in there. And then she's like, oh, we had a bike competition recently, a skateboard competition. And how would you like to throw a rollerblade competition? I was like, and it was perfect timing, because I was actually questioning if I wanted to throw a second event, right? Because the first one, it is a lot more work than I was
just
even
saying
expecting.
You're gonna throw a comp, right?
Yeah, like this round 2 of carriers, like I was really questioning, like even when I wanted to do it. As soon as she said that, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm down. Yeah. And then for me, it's like, if I say I'm going to do something, even if I'm doubting it, once I say it, I have to do it, right? So
that's like the perfect example, though, of what we say, like with things that happen, you just look at each other and say, universe.
Universe, for real.
And there's just no... Yeah, when he was telling me about that, the skeptic in me was like, why would they help you? It's such a foreign concept, especially to, us rollerbladers here. Like, wait, like we're not going to have to do this all on our own dime, all on our own backs. Like, it seemed too good to be true, but it was not at all, and it was like legitimate help.
It was for real. Like, it also brought a lot of perspective on our competitions that we have now, that people put in a lot of work.
You're probably looking at Winter Clash and thinking they have a team of however many volunteers, employees working that thing. And I imagine you could just be in awe of the quagmire that must be to keep it all.
Straight. Like Winter Clash was another thing for me, was getting perspective on my next comp, right? Of course, having that magical feeling at the Carriers Open that that I experienced at the Hoedown or at Winter Clash in the street comp in Denmark, and of course, like, people throwing on even from the smallest competitions or even just a session, it requires a lot of passion, right? And then, when Jen came in, Universe, right? I was like, I got to do this. There's a reason why she came in. She asked me, like, what I went through to throw the one in Allen. I had to rent the skate park, come up with the prize money, find sponsors, et cetera, et cetera. She asked me these questions at the gallery, and she's like, when she asked me, how much did you have to pay for the skate park? I said, yeah. And she goes, how would you like to just get the skate park for free? And I was like, holy crap, like, that's one step. But then there was even more, right? Like, providing an organization. She throws events, not just extreme sports events for the skate park, but she throws a lot of events for the city. And Frisco is it's a really awesome city, right? So because of that, I was able to organize myself a little bit better. Still not like max organization, because I do throw a lot of things out there, like in the middle of excitement. I'm like, oh, what if we do this? What if we do that? And then, of course, they'll.
She's got to Jordan you and bring you back to reality.
Yeah. Well, then I got
Wet
her, Jordan, and Arlo, like all doing it, and still, I'll still kind of escape a little bit and do a couple things, but because of that, because of how official it is, I was able to reach out to more corporate sponsors. So this time I did have help. This time I only lost like $2,000. I wouldn't say lost.
What was the prize on that one? Because that one had a good purse also, didn't it?
It was about the same, but we gave out a little bit to the quads for the kids.
Because there was a lot more like different types of competitions on the most recent one.
For sure. I
feel like the total was $5,000 in prizes, or somewhere there beyond. I mean, that's pretty significant,
It is
to raise.
It was cool. It was actually amazing, because some sponsors really surprised me. Actually, every sponsor surprised me, but some sponsors reached out that I wasn't expecting, and that was cool.
The amount that Arlo's willing to put on his back as well to do is absolutely amazing.
That's what makes the comp, to be honest, because like
him on the mic
and
the ideas, he's been through the war as well. I mean, that's where anytime you can lean on somebody who's been through something, to help see the problem before it is a problem, or whatever, that sort of guidance is. And to MC the event, and just take it all on, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Plus, he's our,
Yeah, I was.
Let's move on. We're running pretty long here. I want to get to a couple of these points before we get into like 2 hours long.
We're all falling asleep.
So, how's it judged? Like, what's the judging process? Because Niels won the first one, Kudo won the second one. Does that mean Dread Roller's winning the third one? Is there some conspiracy here?
Actually, I think I'm gonna win the next one. I'm gonna compete this year.
But how are the winners chosen?
So the first time we had judges.
I think it was the phone thing, right?
Well, this was
people were doing the little phone. The first one was
one was judges.
Second was the phone.
The second one was hoedown style.
Okay.
But it was done. Y'all had like an app and everything.
We had an app.
That was really cool.
That worked.
That was really
that
cool.
worked good.
Yeah, it's cool because it takes.
Scan a QR code and it brings up the people you choose, and everybody gets to partake in the voting process.
Like a live tally.
Yeah, live tally. Also, the city provided this. Arlo and the city worked together on it. Figured out how it's all going to work. It did have a little bit of hiccups here and there, but it was fair. I mean, but
Julian deserved it. He destroyed it. Just absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah.
So it's judged. It's not just rollerblader judged for that last one though. Were people outside of the competition participating in it, or was it just other skaters?
They participated in a piece of it.
Yeah, the quad event. I think anybody could vote on that, the quad jam. But during the different heats of the blade, you were judged by your peers.
Yeah, just like Hoda.
Yeah.
Just like Hoda.
And even in the final rounds.
It's cool though. What I like about it, one, of course, like it takes a lot of weight off the judges, right? Like, it kind of sucks. Like you were saying, you don't want to have that, conspiracy like, Nils won this year, Julian wins the next year. It takes that off, but it also allows your peers, your fellow skaters, to watch you skate, right? It's really cool, and you want to. It almost feels like a session. You want to be fair. It does involve the crowd too, which is cool because competitions are funny, you know, like when we go to a competition as rollerbladers, you know, we understand all the lingo. If we're skating in it, of course, you know, we want to be there, but do we consider the people watching it and the outsiders, the people that don't skate at all, right? That's the people that we want to eventually be in it, right? To get their kids in it, to promote the sport more. So a competition is not just about the rollerbladers; it's about the crowd too. So how can we keep everybody entertained? And I feel like the hoedown was a game changer already, and now with the Carriers Open and hoedown, basically a tribute to the hoedown, being involved in it, we just took that and just brought it to this generation with QR codes, cell phones, and stuff like that. So hopefully other comps can take this, because it's not like you know, it's not like a top secret thing. Like you know, we got computers now and all this stuff, cell phones. So this can help other competitions be a little bit more efficient. And but you know, we did it first.
Talking about other competitions, I was with you. We were street skating, and you had called John Julio to talk about your them order. You know, whenever I was trying to get thems and everything like that, and y'all started talking about, you know, Blade Cup, creating a circuit for skaters. Yeah. You know, the Carriers possibly being part of that circuit as a qualifier, something like that. Has anything been put down for the 2024 competition as far as a circuit being a qualifier for Blade Cup? Have y'all talked any more about that?
So as far as circuit goes, like, you know, I don't want it to come off like, you know, that it's something else than what it is. It's a qualifier competition for Blading Cup. It'll help Julio out because he has a lot of competitors. I mean, it just makes it easier to have people advance, not go through like the long, drawn out, like an AM event just has a lot of skaters. And let's talk about Jose too. Like, you know, Jose skates as a pro. He's, for me, a pro skater, but in some competitions he has to enter as an AM. Competing in an AM event, the etiquette, the skate park etiquette is a bit different. It's a little bit harder. So for Jose to skate in an AM event and then advance and then compete in a pro event, like, he's going to be out of energy.
Yeah, because you advanced in the last comp, right?
Yeah, on the second comp. The first competition I entered M, didn't advance. I think I placed somewhere way far. And second one, I entered M again and placed second. So now I think I'm eligible for pro for this year. Yeah. So I won't have to skate M and then skate pro, because by the time I got to the pro, I was already kind of gassed out because I was skating all day. Yeah. Warm-ups plus mine, and then, So it'd be good to just skate now.
Because it's like, we had ASA in this, like Jordan was saying, as a way to get that pro name, you know, a title to you. So although it doesn't really mean much, it's more like a badge of honor that you can wear. If you turn ASA pro, you can put it on your Facebook, you can put it on your Instagram. I'm pro rollerblader. You may not be making any money, you're still working a full-time job. Do they want something like that with Blade Cup to be able to have people, as instead of it just being like, how do you go pro these days? You get a pro boot from a company?
Yeah, I mean,
that is a whole topic right there, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. I don't want to. I hope I don't go like too deep in it. You know, when we called Julio that day, or however that the conversation started, that was part of the conversation, right? Like turning people pro again, because like being pro has its badge of honor, but it gives people motivation, right? Like imagine a parent whose kid just wants to skate, right? Like they want a future in skating. Well, you know, the parent's gonna ask, well, what's the point? Like, how do you turn pro? Oh shoot, like I don't know how to turn pro, right? It's really important for the future of our sport, I believe, to be able to turn pro. Not just for the parents, but for the person skating too, right? Like there's a lot of people that blindly, you know, skate for let's say a pro status or for a goal, and then they get to the top and they realize, holy crap, like this is what it is, you know. So we did talk about that. Of course, I'm pretty sure anybody throwing a comp has thought about it. Here in the U.S., we got the FM Invitational, which is a very big competition. And
Frankie Morales' comp in Florida.
And then the Blading Cup, and then I'll throw carriers in there.
What about like Bitter Cold Showdown? Is that something that
I think Bitter Cold had their last event. I think
really?
that was their last event
Yeah.
last year.
Is Bitter Cold in America?
Detroit.
Yeah, it's in Detroit.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm thinking about that.
But they said it was their last event.
They
But that was
Yeah, they did.
that was like our winter clash, right? It was one of the last standing competitions. Of course, like having a good prize pool is important, and those three comps are, you know, bringing in enough money for people from out of the country to come in and make it worth their while to fly all that way and possibly break even, right? I mean, really, that's what it is. That's why raising the money a little bit higher, there should be a new standard, whatever. But going back to turning people pro again, I don't want to speak for Julio, so then I'll just speak for myself. I would like to be either a part of something like that or provide that if possible, because yeah, like it is really hard to say who's pro these days, right? Like being a qualifier for the Blading Cup is awesome, because I mean, yeah, if you get top 3 in Blading Cup, you could easily say that's a pro skater, right? But it's never really official. Having a pro wheel is awesome, but shoot, I could give myself a pro wheel and say I'm pro, right? And a lot of people could go that route. Pro product is, you know, pro skate. You know, what is considered a pro product? Is that a T-shirt? You know, is that a pro sticker? It's, you know what I mean? like
Yeah, we can't just be willy-nilly slapping these labels on anybody we want.
Exactly, and we need structure. I mean, every sport, every real sport has real pros, and we know that they're pro. We know how they turn pro.
It's like in the trades where you have some apprenticeship process where you ultimately become, you know, from journeyman to master electrician or whatever. And there's this path, you know, where maybe with, you know, ASA was a path, and
ASA, you know, was it?
What could a path look like nowadays? And you know, dude, but what's at the top, you know?
Well, and that's what we need. Like, we don't know what's at the top if we don't go through that door, right? Like, if we don't have these official competitions, then we can't take the next step to, like, okay, now we have pros. What do we do with these pros? Right? X Games might take us back, or who knows what, right? But we have to continue pushing these limits, and then, yes, turning people pro. So I hope that answers the question. I feel like we should turn people pros.
Way more than I was expecting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We just got a couple more things to talk about real quick, just about the Carriers Comp, because I'm sure people want to know. We are having one this year, correct? Or there will be one this year?
There will be one this year.
Okay. What do we have to look forward to that as far as location, who's coming, you know, anything like that you want to tell people?
The date's down already. Is the date's confirmed, or you're not saying yet?
Well, the reason why I'm not saying it is because I might be missing the exact day by a couple days. I think it's October 26th.
Do you need a calendar?
I have it on my phone, dude, and I've checked and told people a few times already.
It's gonna be a Saturday, right?
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
I think it was about a month earlier than it was. I thought it was early October. I could be wrong.
It's late October.
So it could be anywhere on the 26th, 19th, or 12th.
26th. I believe it's the 26th. We'll just keep it a surprise for you guys. I'm doing it on purpose.
Because I think Blake Cups is
November
2nd, right?
So like the following weekend?
Yeah.
Yes,
And this will kind of go back to the original question, right? Like about being a qualifier. FM Invitational, I believe, is also a part of, let's just call it this new circuit or whatever. But, you know, we're all kind of tied together, especially if people are coming in from out of the country. They'll fly into New York. They can go to FM Invitational in Florida. From there, go to Texas. Carriers Open, and then from there to go to California.
That's
And-
good for the people coming from overseas.
Yeah, for sure. And
they
then
don't have to be here for
They're all
3
within
months.
the-
They're all kind of close to each other.
exactly,
They can skate all the comps.
it can be worth it for them.
What about location?
Frisco?
It's gonna be Frisco.
Yeah,
again?
Frisco once again.
We gonna
Jen-
have new obstacles built.
Yes. I'm not gonna say what, but there's more time. There's more time to plan all this out. I have my little piece of paper that I've been writing on, and that's how it all starts. And sometimes some of the stuff gets crossed out. But this last Carriers Open went so well that Jen asked if we want to have it again in Frisco. So we'll do it again. I do want to provide a launch box. I do want to provide a little bit more as far as ramps go. As far as pros go, I have not reached out to too many people yet, but there will be, again, cool pros out here, so that's dope. And prize money, hopefully it'll be more. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get there. So I still got, 7 months of planning, I believe.
Might
You
even
got
be a
less
little
than
closer.
that.
Yeah.
You better get on it. April, May, June, July.
Yeah, you're
August,
down to about
September,
six.
October.
Yeah.
Okay,
So 6 months.
You got a little more time to procrastinate.
Yeah, last time it was 6 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
and then the first time it was 4 weeks or yeah. It's getting better and better. So expect a better Carriers Open this year, 2024.
That's awesome. I think everybody's looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. We went a little bit longer than we expected, but this was awesome. I mean, this was our first episode. I hope all of y'all got a lot of good information and really, really enjoyed the topics that we covered. I am looking forward to doing more of these and bringing on some other guests to talk to us and, just have a good conversation. If we just want to go around and, mention again who you are, if you want to plug a website, plug an Instagram, anything like that, go ahead and just tell the people where they can find you if you want to go first, Fritz.
All right, yeah, Fritz Peitzner. Just look up Fritz Peitzner on Instagram. Carriers Open. Look for that on Instagram, and Carrier Skate Shop, of course, Cymatics brand. We're doing big things out here.
Jose Arce, Good Kid Mad Lady on Instagram. Check me out. Appreciate it.
Jose, actually, my newest Rollerblading is Still Fun street edit. He was profiled, highlighted. He had a lot of good clips, so we kind of put something together for him. So definitely check that out. Rollerblading is Still Fun #8 on YouTube. Rollerblading is Still Fun channel. Jordan?
That's it. Jordan Glowicki. That's it. Cymatics brand. Josh's brother.
Awesome.
No,
Well,
thanks for having me. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we hope to see y'all back on the next episode.
Peace. Thank you, guys.
Later.
Easy.